Chelsea transfer news as the Blues look to source funds for a big January window addition, with Ivan Toney at the forefront of plans. Wondering whether Chelsea have enough money or not is probably a strange scenario to be in, especially after Todd Boehly and Clear Lake Capital sanctioned another £300 million, $364 million, and then some transfer window. The numbers don't quite add up. It is just a question of how the money will be assigned and when it will be spent and in what quarters and apportioned in which way. The money is there and has been paraded in buckets, unlike anything that most expected after the men behind private equity firms signed off to buy the club. In the same way that many saw the price they paid for the club to be extortionate and over the top, perhaps it isn't a surprise that the way they have spent money has been similarly outlandish. However, without Champions League football, a top-tier primary sponsor or much security that things will be back on par with the yearly levels of Roman Abramovich, it is hard to see how the level of spending can continue. January will be the fourth window in a row that this has been said. There are limits, and while the pool of players that can be sold is not necessarily smaller, it is now less glamorous and obvious. In this sense, there will have to be a closer alignment with money in and money out, certainly closer than there has been. Luckily for the owners, there are still players that look to have futures elsewhere. As well as the long-term loan issues raised with keeper Aris Abalaga and Romelu Lukaku, Marc Cucurella will do well to force his back into the mix. Despite his run of 3 starts in a row, Cucurella was a player that the club were keen to offload in the summer,